I've always wondered that too. Like, especially nowadays with all this new technology, why aren't we like out there?
We haven't gone back.
We should be landing on the moon like every couple months.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Juice and Jury podcast. I know you missed us. I'm back here today with my girls, Shaunneka and Christiana.
Hi.
And we're back with a bunch more juicy topics. So thank you so much for joining us. Make sure that you hit the like, subscribe, comment, share, all that to support us, guys. It really makes a difference and we really appreciate it.
Yes.
So, ladies, should we just jump into the first topic?
We really should.
Sure.
So something that's been trending this week, the question is, who comes first, your spouse or your children?
Yeah.
For a lot of people, that would be a tough question.
That is a tough question. I think it's a tough question.
Yeah.
Before I got married, before I had kids, my husband used to say to me, like, you have to love your husband more than your kids. And he's like, because, your husband, I don't know what the reasoning was, but he basically always told me, you're supposed to love your spouse more than your kids. And I was like, yeah, that's great. But then when you have kids, it's hard because you're literally the caregiver for the kids, but you're not the caregiver for your spouse. However, I do believe that you should put the spouse first in terms of like priority, or like, I don't even know in what way, but like, not like you have to cater to them before you cater to your children, because your children are dependent on you. But I do think that you have to consider them the priority when it comes to things like making decisions and choosing your lifestyle, things like that. Yeah, your spouse definitely, for me, I would say, is first, because without them you couldn't even have your children. So yeah, what do you guys think?
I would agree with that, to be honest with you. It is tough because your children are like your heart walking outside your body, right? Like, they're literally every part of you. That's your deep self. Like, I always say that when it comes to my kids. But at the same time, your spouse, that's your partner. That's the partner you have chosen. And together you've created a beautiful family, right? So I think that to keep that going, you need to put your spouse first. And I believe that love makes everything else go well, right? So I think that your spouse should be top priority. And, growing up, my mom always put my dad first. I'll say that. She still is. She's a loyal wife. And I really do admire that about her. My mom was one of those African moms where it's like, no, your dad eats first, like that type of mom. We would eat, like, our food is out there at first, but like my mom would always serve my dad first, which it never bothered me as a child, but I always think of it now. I'm like, oh, that's really nice.
That's very traditional African.
Yeah. Oh, and she was, like I said, good wife, loyal to her husband. No matter what, he was always, my dad's always the head of the household. So I think respect for your spouse and making sure that you honor them. I think it's important to put your spouse first. But I love my kids, so they're a really close. Like 1.5. It's not. It's not even a 2. It's like a 1.5.
This much.
Sure. It's like. Yeah. Sorry.
What about you, Shaun? What do you think?
Yeah, well, I don't have kids, so I don't know.
You can still get.
I don't I'm not in the situation but I would think I would put my spouse first, because like you were saying, the love will kind of just trickle down, because if you're not like together in unison and you're not on the same page with your partner, that it's going to affect your kids. It's going to affect like the whole family unit. Yeah. So yeah, I think. Yeah.
What about in your home, like growing up? Did you see that as an example, or was it more like the kids were the priority?
No. I mean, They were definitely, but it's also like a very traditional Caribbean household that I grew up in. So
What does that mean?
Like my mom was like my mom did the cooking and my dad did like the chores around the house and like fixing things and stuff like that. So but they, I don't know, they enjoyed it. They were like really into their, what's that word that I'm looking for? Yeah, like
Their
they were
marriage?
just really into their roles. Yeah.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I saw something, sorry, just quickly, I saw something on TikTok the other day, or maybe it was Instagram, where the couple, like they were married with children, but every time it was their anniversary, they would blow out candles, but they would say that it's the birth date of their family. It's their family's birthday. The anniversary of their wedding was their family's birthday. And I think it was kind of cute. I was like, oh, and that the whole family would blow out candles together because it was the date that their family was established. I thought that was sweet.
Very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. So
I
think
noticed
we. Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I noticed though now, like with my parents, they're more like they do more things together. Like they're more, it's almost like they're dating. It's like because I guess we're older.
Out of the house now.
Yeah. So like when we were younger.
Did not do before when you were around.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. I think they put each other first, but in a different way. Like back then. Because like we were all hustling, like they were working, we were in school. It was like,
Yeah.
It was a lot. Which
I often hear like couples say that when their children leave the nest is when they get reacquainted with their spouse, because while the kids are at home, like as much as they want to like focus on their relationship, it's a lot harder because they have other responsibilities. But when the kids are old enough to kind of leave the nest and take care of themselves, then they go back to like what Shaun said, like kind of the dating phase.
Yeah, like the pre-kid.
Yeah. I love my kids. I love having them around, having them at home. I can't imagine when they actually leave me, but I do think that it would be nice to have more time with my husband and like how we were for the kids, we play, we joke, we like, just do things more dating, like you're dating, Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're doing like outings and stuff, it's usually you, your husband, and your kids.
Yeah.
Right.
I always tell my husband, my favorite times are when the kids are actually at school or daycare. And then we get to, and like if he's home and I'm home, we get to hang out. And if he wants to like do, like we take quick trips to like whatever, whether it's like Scarborough or those are my favorite days. And then we come back and pick up the kids. I'm like, that's the best time. So.
Yeah, it's nice because you married this person for a reason. You obviously like their company. Yeah. So when you get to have as much of it, it's hard for a little bit, but then, don't forget why you guys actually ended up together, right? All right, guys. So let's call a verdict on this. So spouse is just a little bit more of a priority than kids. Yes? Awesome.
The jury has spoken.
Yeah, I don't think we used that sound last episode, but that's okay.
So we need some juice now. We need to pour some juice, Maureen, please. All right. Pour some juice. Perfect. Carlee Russell. Have you heard of her?
I have not.
Okay, well, I'll give you a little bit of background story. So this is a young woman that was missing for a few days. So the story is that she was driving her car along the highway and she was talking to her sister on the phone. She saw a toddler walking on the road. And of course, you see a toddler walking by themselves on the road and I guess it's dark or whatnot. You're going to be concerned about this toddler. So she did what any good person, I guess, would do, got out of her car and went towards the toddler. She's still on the phone with her sister. Her sister hears a scream and the phone drops. Carlee goes missing for 3 days. They put out rewards. I think it was like a $25,000 reward. They're putting out pictures. They're looking for Carlee. No one can find her. And the issue behind this is that there are so many young Black women that go missing every day in the United States, and
She
nothing
Black?
is being done. She is a Black, yeah, she's a young Black woman. So there was a lot of people. It went international. A lot of people were looking for her.
Yeah,
There was
I would think
a
she was
woman,
trafficked.
exactly. Like even there was even a woman who had lost her daughter not too long ago, and unfortunately that was a different situation. But she was helping to look for Carlee as well. The family was posting pictures, everything, and everyone was really concerned about her. 3 days later, Carlee is walking down the street. And yeah, Carlee comes walking down the street in the morning or whatever, and she walks to her parents' house. She's brought to the hospital immediately. And now the news story is that she actually faked the whole thing. So this
I was gonna say, was she abducted by aliens? Or?
She wasn't abducted at all. She faked it.
Wow.
The story is that she had a argument with her boyfriend. There was some kind of he broke up with her, and this was just some type of ploy, she to get him back somehow, to fake her abduction, essentially.
That's insane.
Like,
And
how
the
much
story has come out, she's telling the truth. It was a complete hoax, false, end of story. So she got everybody riled up, and it's a complete crap.
So she was on the phone with her sister.
Yes.
And just completely made up a story about her seeing a toddler on the road, screams, and then hangs up the phone and thinks it's funny to just disappear for 3 days and have everybody looking for her.
I don't think she expected it to get as big as it did. I think that's what scared her, because she probably saw all these stories about people looking for her. I think that she wanted attention, and that's
how old is she?
I think she's early 20s or late 20s. She's in her 20s. She's young. She's young. But the story is that it's about a breakup.
So what kind of relationship are you in that you need to
do something
gather that kind of attention?
What kind of psychopathy do you have?
Yeah.
You're willing to put all these people out and make all these people, your own sister, your own family, your sister didn't do anything to you, or maybe she did, I don't know. But why include everyone else? That's insane.
I'm pretty sure she didn't think it through. I think she was like, this is what I'm going to do. And
thinking in the now. Yeah.
She probably didn't think that it was going to get to this level. She probably I'm going to only go missing for a couple of days or something like that. And that's that. Yeah. But it got way ahead of her. And that's why she came back.
That's such a weird thing though.
Yeah. Was there video footage of it, or?
There was no video footage, but I remember from the beginning that it was all very, there was something so suspicious about the whole thing, because where she said she saw the toddler was a busy highway. Why didn't anyone else see this toddler? Right? So people were already doubting it from the beginning, but it doesn't matter. When someone's missing, you have to take it seriously.
Yeah.
And again, her being a young Black woman, you want the Black community would want to take it seriously. You don't want to kind of be like, oh no, it's fine, something.
Yeah.
No. But there, it turned out like that. And then news story that just came out is that they found her phone records or whatever, not phone records, but they found her last searches.
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
She was basically searching
how to
or she bought a ticket for some other city or whatever. That's number one. First clue. Mm-hmm. She was planning this. Second one is, how do you take money from a cash register without being noticed?
What?
That's two. There's a lot of stuff that she searched at 2:00 in the morning the night before she went missing on July 13th. She searched all these things. She knew what she was going to do. This was planned.
So that's what I'm saying, see, because a second ago you're like, oh, she wasn't thinking about it. This wasn't, but she
must have. Yeah.
She thought about it. She knew exactly what she was
planned
doing.
It, but I don't think she realized that it was going to turn it was going to get this much attention. She never. If you really think that she actually, who knows?
Where did she go for those 3 days, though?
That part I don't know. The story is actually still unraveling, so stay tuned. But she's crazy. Clearly, she cried wolf, and now people are always going to think that you are some liar. So what do you do with people like that? And there are people that are pathological liars, and Carlee Russell will always be looked at as a pathological liar.
I mean, that's extreme, really extreme. Really extreme. And to have I know she's not a child, but to make your entire family worry like that something happened to you, and to give them that impression, that's insane. Like the amount of narcissism that is required to go through with that. And she, like you said, she planned it. So I think she knew that this could happen, that her family could call people. Like she's not a child. She should have known the ramifications of scaring her family, her sister like that, and making them think.
I don't think she realized it, because sometimes when you're not in that situation, you don't really think like, oh my gosh, it can blow up to be this big. And yeah, she's just ridiculous. But yeah, email us your questions and comments.
Whoa.
But yeah, that's the story. So the question is, now that we know that she's a liar, what do you do with people that are pathological liars? Because we all have them in our lives where people are like, that like, they're lying, right? It's like, why are you doing this? So
oh man. Okay, speaking of lying, I'm not saying this is a lying liar, but like I was watching this show, this YouTube channel with my husband. It's one of our favorite YouTube channels. I think I mentioned it in another podcast. It's called the Y Files. Okay, and they
like WHY.
WHY, and they do every week they have like a new video on some sort of like paranormal phenomenon, conspiracy theory, like something like that. And they will tell the story of the theory or the phenomenon or whatever it is, this paranormal, supernatural, whatever it is, time travel, aliens, all of that. And then they'll tell the story, and then they'll go back and they'll look at if there's any evidence for it, what is the evidence, things like that, right? So anyway, so on this channel, the last episode they did was on NASA, and about there's a very old conspiracy theory, that NASA faked the moon landing, the one with Armstrong in the, I want to say 70s, late 70s, early 80s. And yeah, I don't remember the dates for everything. I'm really sorry for all the people out there who are really smart. I don't know. I'm not that smart. Anyways, so you're watching this video, and it looks like there's a lot of like questions around the moon landing itself. A lot of it was debunked, but there were some questions remaining. For example, one of the biggest things is that all the original footage of the person on the moon has been destroyed, according to NASA. They don't have any of the original records at all. No, none of the original footage at all. It's all destroyed. Why? We don't know.
I'm sure they have something. I mean, like, there's nothing at the Pentagon, the White House,
NASA.
You know what I mean? Don't they have? Okay.
Yeah. So that's one strange thing. And the other strange thing is, why haven't we gone back?
Yes. I've always wondered that too. Like, especially nowadays with all this new technology, why aren't we like out there?
We haven't gone back.
We should be landing on the moon like every couple months, discovering
if we ever actually even did land. Like the guy in the show, he was suggesting that he thinks that maybe we did land on the moon, but what we found there was like super dangerous or crazy or whatever, and that's why we haven't gone back.
Oh, really?
And I'm still questioning if we've ever even gone to begin with. And the reason is because I saw this crazy video on TikTok where there is this gentleman. It's so like sketch because I can't refer any names or anything, but there's this gentleman who is at some sort of hearing, congressional hearing or some sort of hearing, and he's presenting evidence that NASA faked a lot of their space travel. And the video is really well done because he will present the evidence and then they'll show a clip of it. So they'll be like, it's very strange because the astronauts are supposedly in space, but they're grabbing things and there's nothing in their hands. And they'll cut to a clip where they're going like this. Literally, there's nothing in their hands. And they're just saying, he's saying like, it's like they're CGIing the video or adding things in after. And then there's also clips of the astronauts in their space shuttle. Looks like they're like moving around and somebody grabs somebody else to kind of steady them, but there's like it looks like a string that they're grabbing because they're
like an imaginary harness type thing.
Yeah, like their shirt looks like this and the person's going like this above it, right? Like a harness. So there's all those like weird things that are like, what?
But then why lie about it?
Well, I don't know for sure. The theory
mhm.
is that again that originally the race to the moon was to beat Russia. It was always like the U.S. versus Russia. That's how it's always been. It's still like that till today, as you know. So I
So
think
Russia has actually gone to the moon.
no, I don't know if they've gone to the moon.
Oh, okay, China has apparently.
Like for
Again,
real gone to the moon?
we
Yeah,
don't know. I
apparently.
don't know because again, these people are faking things left, right,
Yeah.
center. You know to believe. So I can't tell you if anyone's gone to the moon. This is what they say. The same way NASA has said they've been to the moon multiple times. I honestly don't know. Okay, I used to think, yeah, they've gone to the moon. We've gone to the moon, of course. Like, why would they lie about that? Now I'm seeing all this stuff that makes me be like,
Yeah,
what?
I'm
Like,
also thinking back to like I remember when I was in elementary school, we were learning about the Challenger. And when I don't know if it's when they were leaving or when they were coming back into the Earth's atmosphere, but it exploded. And there was one that happened not a few years ago, but like recently in like recent times. Was it the Explorer? Man, I really don't know, but there was another one. So maybe
yeah.
they were attempting to, and maybe they just couldn't.
That's the other thing is that I found out that around the Earth, there are these two kind of like donut shaped energy fields called Van Halen, not Van Halen, Van Allen,
Yeah.
sorry, Van Allen radiation belts. And they literally, it's like a lot of radiation around the Earth's outer atmosphere, especially. And technically, no human can actually survive going through that, nor any like material. The only way that they could survive it is if it was like covered in lead. And the thing is, they say that lead would make it too heavy to take off. So I don't know. I don't know. Now NASA is saying that they've figured out a way to get through these things, but there's conflicting information online if you go look it up. Because in one hand they say, yeah, we've gone through it, and then the other hand, if you keep reading somewhere else, it'll say you can't get through it. So I don't know.
Is it? Yeah.
So then that means there's no space shuttle up there. There's nothing orbiting the Earth.
The space shuttle, I believe there probably is because it doesn't have to be as heavy. Like it can be small.
But wouldn't people have had to have gone up there to install it?
They just launch it.
Yeah.
What?
The space shuttle.
Whoa.
They just send it up there.
So they just launched it and it just orbits the Earth.
Yes. Yeah. We're not talking about spaceships. We're talking about space shuttles. They're like giant, like machine things with like, I think, thingamabobbers.
So you're saying spaceships can go to space?
Ma'am, space shuttles, not spaceships. Spaceships have people in them.
Think of just like a
right. Okay, so space shuttles have gone to space with no people in it, but the ones with people in it, spaceships, haven't gone. It's all a conspiracy. It's we don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
But I think that maybe they haven't done what they actually say they've done. Or they haven't done it as many times, or they haven't gone as far as they say they've gone. So maybe they just have Earth's atmosphere, but they haven't been able to go into deep space. Yeah. I don't know. I just know that it made me think twice when I saw all of that. Like, I don't roll my eyes at these conspiracies because there's a reason that they have conspiracies going on for this long. There's a reason that there's a lot of people who believe in them because there's actually evidence to suggest that NASA isn't telling the truth, that NASA is like hiding things or manipulating things.
What are they hiding? Or maybe they're
gone as far as they say they've gone. And a part of the reason why they would have a motive to hide that is because they get a lot of money. So they can't like justify all the money that they get and say like, oh, we can't go there. They have to find some reason to justify the money.
Whoever's giving them the money is going to want proof.
That's right. That's the taxpayers. Hence why they have all these videos of astronauts floating around in their space shuttle and doing spacewalks and da-da-da. But we don't know.
That means if no one's ever gone to space, then we're literally this little ball in the universe and we can't leave. We're here.
And some scientists have
And
said
that means, yeah,
Some
that
scientists
means,
said that we can't leave.
yeah,
I've
we're
heard
just,
a clip of a scientist saying that exact thing.
There's nowhere else for us to go. That's what it is.
so
Yeah.
this whole landing on Mars or
Yeah, living on another planet? No.
I don't think it's ever going to happen, to be honest. Sorry, Elon Musk. I mean, I think I get it. I get that, like, it would be really, really revolutionary.
Wait a
cool,
second.
but I
Who
don't
was
think
that guy who had that shuttle that went into space and he took Bezos with him? Remember they went up in there, they went up to
I know what you're
space.
talking about. And then what's his name was supposed to go, but he didn't go. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Jeff Bezos went into space. I don't remember.
Yeah, they went up for like
deep space.
10 seconds and came back down or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
they don't go into deep space.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't deep space?
I'm sure it wasn't. Oh.
I know that
Interesting.
yeah, I know that things are not what they seem. Let's put it that way.
Mhm.
And every time I hear about this, like some other conspiracy, some evidence for some other conspiracy, I'm just like, me and my husband are there like, is anything true? Like, are all conspiracies true? Like, is
Right.
anything the way it seems? Everything is just a lie. That's how we feel when we look around.
We're always questioning things.
Oh gosh, I question everything now because
Yeah, I think it's good to question things, to be honest. But
Yeah, there's
this
nothing wrong
space
with
thing
that.
is really interesting.
listen, I could go on about different conspiracy theories until tomorrow morning. Like, don't even get me started with the CIA and JFK. Like, don't even get me started. So you guys, I need to send you down the rabbit hole with me. I'm going to send you the videos so you can join me in the rabbit hole because it's
I
fun.
know. You know what? Send it to me because I go down these rabbit holes on TikTok nightly.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to send you the Y Files videos. They are so captivating. You're going to love it. It's really well done. And they talk about like all types of like CIA conspiracies, and they even talk about like spiritual things and Bibles and blah, 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 lots of cool stuff. But yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
send it to me.
All right, ladies. Well, on that note, I think that we can wrap up our podcast there for tonight. That was a really interesting conversation. I definitely hope we talk about more conspiracies in other episodes.
Yeah, and if there's any conspiracies that you want us to talk about,
I'm gonna go look up that episode now.
Email us, whatever. We're on TikTok, right? We're on
We
TikTok
are
now.
We're on TikTok now. Yes, we're on
Yes.
TikTok, Instagram, and we also just joined Threads, although we haven't really posted there. But we are on Threads as well. If you are on there, then everything is at the Juice and Jury Podcast. So just look up the Juice and Jury Podcast and you'll find us.
For sure.
And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you have any questions, comments, please engage with our content so that we can, get it pushed out a little bit more, a little bit easier. We really appreciate any help. And we hope
shout out to all our loyal listeners too. That
we're
waiting for us to post while we're on the highway. You know who you are.
You are day runners. Good for you.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, anyways, have a great weekend, guys.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.